Happy April 22nd, Earth Day. If you guys live in Southern California like I do, you might have felt a bit of a shake last night, a little bit after midnight. California here in the South, we had a earthquake. I think it was a rated 3.6 or was it a 3.9? I can't remember. But anyways, it certainly frightened me and it made me think for today's story, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about earthquakes from some of our books we have in the library. Earthquakes. So what in the world causes an earthquake to happen? It is when rocks may suddenly slip along a fault and cause a little bit of a shake. Sometimes the rocks are going to move up and down. Some faults go across sideways. And cracks in the Earth's crust are called faults. So do you guys see that? There's a big crack in the Earth. It's called a fault. You guys have probably all heard of the San Andreas Fault. Look at that. Look at the difference in the land and what it looks like to be in between there. So once again, when plates move, it causes an earthquake. So can you guys see that? Here's the lower plate and the upper plate. And down here is how they kind of meet together. And when those plates move and meet together, it causes an earthquake. And this plate is pushing down against that, and it's causing these mountains to move up. That's how we have mountains. Can you believe that? And here again are some rock layers, and you see where that crack is. That's the fault. You guys can even do an experiment. It's called the cracked egg experiment. See if your parents will hard boil an egg for you. Once it is cool enough to touch, take that hard boiled egg and tap it on the surface or the counter, and you'll notice that it starts to crack. Now, take your hand and carefully squish it a little, and you'll notice that the plates of the earth kind of move, and it'll give you a better picture of what is happening below our feet on the earth's crust with these earthquakes. Some of those plates are going to push up against each other. Some of the plates might even spread apart. Now, what do we do to make us not so terrified of earthquakes? We prepare, which I bet you guys have all prepared. Try having an earthquake drill at home. We do it at school periodically throughout the year. Where at home are you going to be safe? Find a sturdy table. Show your parents how you take your hands over your neck, over your ears, and you close your eyes. Why do you close your eyes during an earthquake? What if there's some debris and the dust kind of goes all around? If your eyes are open, ouch, that's going to sting your eyeballs. Close them to protect them. Cover your head with that holds your beautiful brain. Cover your ears to protect your ears. Wait for the shaking to end and listen to your family of what you should do next. Make sure you've got 3 days of food and water. Have your bag with some shoes maybe that are inside of there. Have a flashlight. The more you're prepared, the less you have to worry about. So I just thought we should take some time to learn and review about earthquakes. I hope you've learned something. Try that experiment. Oh, actually, let me tell you one more thing if you're still listening. Some people have asked, can animals predict earthquakes? So, sometime from MIT, there's a study that says, when snakes awake, this is what they have recorded. A number of witnesses assert that cattle, some of the most placid animals in the world, placid means like you're just going to sit and relax. So cattle sense the arrival of earthquakes and have been known to break out of their corrals and stampede. Flocks of birds have been reportedly flying in circles for hours and then suddenly flying away just before the arrival of an earthquake. Mosquitoes and flies have suddenly disappeared from a neighborhood just before an earthquake. Sometimes in Asian villages, cats run out of every house. And I'll tell you a true story. When I was a little girl, I was in 4th grade. This was in the late 80s. and we had like a 5.4 earthquake. I will never forget laying in bed and suddenly hearing my cats scratch on the floor, running around crazy. And I'm like, what in the world? Did they catch a mouse? Suddenly, the earth began to shake. Earthquake! I jumped out of my bed. I ran under my desk. I protected my head and my neck, and I closed my eyes. We were fine from the earthquake, but I think animals can sense it. They were saying in Japan, on the southern coast of Hokkaido, thousands of fish jumped into the air right before the earthquake. And I think in Thailand, when they had their tsunami, I had heard of reports of elephants running to the top of the hill. So it's just interesting. I hope you guys have a wonderful Earth Day. Sorry for this suddenly exposure of books to you. I hope you've listened and paid attention, that I didn't confuse you too much. And if you're still watching, thank you for your patience.